Welcome to The Explainer. We're diving straight into the exact skills and, frankly, the psychology it takes to take your classroom instruction from just good to absolutely great. If you're looking for the actual mechanics behind truly effective teaching, well, you're in exactly the right place. Think back for a second to a truly phenomenal teacher from your own past. What exactly made them stand out from everyone else? Was it just some natural gift, charisma, or was there actually a hidden, deliberate structure behind their approach that made those lessons stick with you for years? It turns out it's a whole ecosystem. Teaching principles really map out this complete wheel of competencies. We're talking everything from nitty-gritty syllabus analysis to the deep psychology of learning. It's a comprehensive system, and the best part, it's entirely something you can master.
So, here's our game plan. We're going to conquer 4 core components today: the anatomy of an instructor, the psychology of learning, the power of planning, and finally, the art of questioning. All right, Section 1, Anatomy of an Instructor. Who is the teacher? Because let's face it, before you can ever hope to master the content, you've got to master yourself.
Now, the way personality is defined here is super important. In a teaching context, your personality is the absolute bedrock of your classroom presence. It's really not just about being well-liked. It's the whole shebang, your physical, mental, moral, and emotional interactions with your trainees. Every single one of those interactions sets the baseline for the entire learning environment.
Obviously, you need thorough subject knowledge. That's a given, right? But you've got to cultivate some very specific traits on top of that. You need a clear, simple voice to guide people without confusing them. But look at those moral and personal qualities: impartiality, justice, sympathy, and just immense patience. Plus, you absolutely have to master class control and leadership. Without that discipline, we literally cannot expect the learning outcomes we're aiming for.
Moving on to Section 2, the psychology of learning, understanding the learner. Let's pivot from our own internal traits and jump straight into the audience's mind.
Here's the crucial takeaway. A truly great instructor doesn't just teach a subject, they teach a unique learner. Educational psychology is exactly what bridges that gap between your material and your student. It's the science of how the human mind actually influences behavior, both consciously and unconsciously, right there in the training environment. This branch of psychology purposefully limits itself to the teaching and learning environment. It helps us map out exactly what experiences are desirable at different stages of a learner's development. When we understand their innate abilities, how they recall info, how they problem solve, and how the overall classroom climate affects them, that's when we stop guessing and start actually strategizing. Ultimately, wrapping your head around these psychological principles gives you the toolkit to select the exact right teaching method for any given situation. Because, let's be real, there is no single magic method that works for all learners in all circumstances. Psychology is what solves that fundamental problem of how to teach. All right, Section 3, the power of planning, designing the instruction. Let's see how all this builds into the absolute secret weapon of every great teacher: the highly structured lesson plan. I absolutely love this analogy. Preparing a lesson plan is exactly like a chef cooking a delicious meal. You have to perfectly blend facts, descriptions, explanations, illustrations, and yes, even humor. If you just dump in a bunch of dry facts without any illustrations, well, the meal is ruined. It takes deliberate, careful planning to get those proportions just right. But preparation is actually a two-way street. It demands clear objectives from the instructor, sure, but it also requires the learner's active mental engagement. You've got to define the time and the goal, but the learner needs to be prepped too. You do that by inviting their participation right out of the gate with introductory, thought-provoking questions that link what they already know to the new topic. By meticulously following these sequential steps, from nailing down specific action-oriented objectives to that final evaluation, you guarantee a highly structured, effective lesson. And pay special attention to Step 3, presenting topics in a way that allows for learner participation. Your plan isn't just a script for you to talk at them, it's about staging activities and discussions so the learner actually absorbs the knowledge. Which brings us to Section 4, the art of questioning, executing the plan. Let's transition from that written plan to live classroom execution. Because this right here, this is where the magic happens in real time. Questioning is way more than just some end-of-lesson pop quiz. It's a dynamic, highly logical procedure for problem solving. Good questioning creates this incredible communication and understanding between you and the trainees. On the flip side, if you use improper questioning methods, you completely risk killing the learner's participation. Proper questioning actually stops people from daydreaming. It actively motivates them to look for more than one answer to a single problem. It helps them break down concepts and figure out how to apply exactly what you just taught to totally new situations. It basically keeps the entire classroom alive and hyper-focused. Now, this specific questioning sequence is an absolute game changer. Step 1. Throw the question to the entire class. This is crucial because it forces every single student to mentally prepare an answer. If you call out a name first, the rest of the room instantly tunes out, right? So throw it out there, give them time to think, and actually wait, and then call a name. Listen carefully, and always repeat the correct answer so the folks in the back hear it clearly.
And here's a fantastic tactical pro tip. When the first student gives you the right answer, do not just accept it and move on. Pass it around. Ask others what they think. By holding out for more answers and actually discussing them, you make sure the entire room grasps the concept, not just your fastest, most eager student.
As we wrap up this explainer, I really want you to remember this. Great teaching is never an accident. It is deliberate design. You've got the blueprint now, cultivating those personal traits, leveraging educational psychology, cooking up that perfectly balanced lesson plan, and executing it with the art of questioning. So my question for you is, knowing this highly structured approach, how will you deliberately design your next unforgettable lesson?